Hello guys and girls and welcome back. It's Big John here, the at's at the bottom of the screen. If you'd like to listen to my music over on Instagram, that can get you to my SoundCloud. So is my SoundCloud link there as well. I will be dropping more music soon and updating my Instagram soon as well. Just got to get into all this Forex stuff and make sure all the students and everybody that's in the group knows what's happening when it comes to Forex. So what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be teaching you about how to understand the ADR. That's the Alpha Delta Romeo, ADR. Now what this does is it shows you the average daily range, the amount of pips that one trading instrument can possibly do in a trading day. Of course, the ADR doesn't mean an exact number of how many pips can move in a day or how many pips you may see, but it gives you an average daily range. And this is how I'm using it to catch up to 5,000 to almost up to 10,000, if not more, pips a week. Okay, so as you can see on my chart here, I have Euro CAD. I'm going to go through a few pairs just so that you can see what I'm talking about in terms of if a pair has enough push left in a day or what happens. So usually I have my Asian range indicator on here. I will put this indicator in the description below. I'm not trying to hide any indicators from anyone. That is free, but I use it in a certain way, and if you'd like to know how I use it, please join my group, join my mentorship. I go through that. All my settings will be in part of that as well. I also use Pip Hunter to enter these trades to give me stronger confluences of how I can get into these trades and how it could be better for me. If we're paying attention to the Asian range indicator, the ADR tells me that there's 99 pips that this pair can do in one trading day. Now it could do more than that, can overextend itself. I haven't personally seen it underextend itself, but it can overextend itself. So we can see in Asian range where it says A here, it's done 24.9 pips. Okay, that's cool for us. That's almost 25 pips. So we're expecting in London session for it to do almost another 75 pips basically. So you can see here in London session, this blue box here, that the pair did at least another 60 pips. So once it's done that, 60 plus this is almost 80. We're not expecting anything fantastic to happen in New York session. Yes, it can overextend itself, but it gives you that bias of saying, I'm not going to look at this pair and think I'm going to expect to see 100 pips off of this pair. It's just something you're not going to have in your head. So moving on to the next pair, Euro New Zealand. As you can see here, same thing. Now this is a pair that moves 144 pips on average in a day. So if you've only seen 43 pips right here in Asian range, then you're expected to see much more push in either London or New York. You can see here it did another 40 pips in London session right here. But then again, so we're expecting, if it's done that, we're expecting almost another 70 pips to happen in New York session. As you can see, there was a sell for about 40 pips. That's this whole, even this up, this down, this up, that was the whole of this box was 40 pips. But you can see that there was a continuation. Even though you've only seen 40 pips here, you're still expecting another 30 odd pips. So the real move you wanted to get for the whole trading day was this buy that was going all the way up here. This was your goal of the day if you was trading this pair. And like I said, because of the average daily range, you would have known that this pair still had enough push. Okay, so as you can see, I've switched on Pip Hunter now. And even for this trade here, you'd be able to see the alligator has turned green, which is a good sign to say that it's bullish. I even have like the settings I show in all my previous videos. I'll link that here as well. I even have like how I tell people how to use Pip Hunter in my previous video. You'd see that once you become more advanced, you'll be able to get this type of version. In the previous video, I'll show you how to catch this one. But you can see here the baseline crossed over. You had the white line, the yellow line crossover. You can see that the teamer, the 4-hour trend, had started to appear. It was red here previously, but it's started to appear here. So it's telling me a 4-hour trend, it's bullish. You can see price coming up here. We had a TDI crossover from over here in this box, and like I told you, this was the real move. So the TDI told you could get in here, but you can notice her price came back down on this pair. Now this is just a setup that you'll learn how to use with Pip Hunter. You can see that when the crossover happened here, this was a better indication to say you're still going to go bullish. So once again, because of the ADR tells us that there's enough pips left in the day, if you wanted to risk this trade and put I always tell people to put a 2% risk per trade for safer trading, you'd be able to catch this pair going up here for this amount of pips here. You'd been able to catch it for almost 50 pips going up, and that's all you needed for the day. We only need about 20 pips. 50 is good enough. So we'll go to the next pair now. Okay, so as we can see on gold here, once again, we can see that gold moves up to, you don't count all the 4 digits with gold, you count the first 3 digits here. So gold can move up to about 400 pips a day. We can see here it's 397. We can see in Asian range, gold has moved 120 pips. So we don't count this bit here, we're just counting this first bit. So then we know that when we get into London session, we're expecting some type of breakout, London being here, or New York session, we're expecting a breakout. So in London session and New York session, it moved up to about 200 pips. So that's showing us and telling us that in New York session, we could be expecting a possible almost 200 more pips for this pair to move. And as you can see here, New York session happened, then you had your good buy here. You can see you had a TDI crossover here for entry. And if I put on Pip Hunter as well, now you can see here. So for me personally, I wouldn't have traded this trade. Even though it was a good trade, you had your M15 trend in sync here, right here, telling you that you could have got this trade. And if you're a more riskier trader, you could have taken it. But my 4-hour trend wasn't in sync. So this isn't a trade realistically I should have took. Now I can show you previously, this is a trade I called out in my group right here. This is why I called out this trade in my group. You can go through my group history and you see I called out this trade and I gave them perfect entry from here to be able to catch this. This was on Thursday, I believe it was, not Friday, and they would have been able to catch this trade all the way up to the top. I caught it and it's in my group. Reason being, you can see here that the H4 trend is in sync and so is the M15. When I say H4 trend, this is the TEMA, the TEMA, this thing here, this square block. And my alligator here, this green, is also in sync. This is telling me a 15-minute trend is now following the H4 trend as well. So I'm expecting in New York session for there to be a strong bias towards a bullish market. We had a TDI crossover here as well. The same 2 and 7 TDI crossover I'm using for my original video where a lot of people know me from. I'm still using it to today. I'm just not putting the 2 and the 7 moving average on my chart. I'm just leaving it in the TDI here and I have Pip Hunter on my chart to show me this. The Asian range of NAS 100 only moved 112 pips. The ADR came up to 291 pips. So as I'm seeing here that the pair moved 112 here, around 80 to 90 here, I'm only expecting about 80 or 90 pips left over in New York session to move. So I would have seen that with my Pip Hunter confluence on, I could have possibly got a trade here. Now right here was my trade I could have entered. You see the TDI crossed, my H4 trend was in sync as well. I could have just got this crossover right here. So I did even explain to someone that there's about 70 to 80% win rate with this strategy with Pip Hunter, but I honestly think it's possibly even more. I think it's more closer towards 80 and 90% win rate like this. Of course, you can't win every trade, but with good risk management, you could have got this trade, your stop loss could have been just above here, and then you could have held this trade to go all the way down to here, and look how many pips you could have caught. This is NAS 100 at indices, that's a lot of money there. Of course, don't enter this with a 0.10 lot size if you've got, I don't know, $1,000 account. Make sure that you have good risk management and you know how to work out your pips with NAS. It's completely different from currency pairs and stuff like that. So make sure you work out your stop loss levels, risk management. I will keep saying that. If you do not use risk management, you'll be blowing your accounts, and that's no one's fault apart from your own, because you have to work out, after you've got your strategy, you have to work out the maths. This is GBP AUD, as you can see here again, 30 pips right here, only in Asian session. You can see that my Pip Hunter setup here shows me that the H4 trend was in sync, so was the M15. I know there's 140 pips this pair can do. So as soon as I'm looking for London session, look, I had here, TDI crossover right here. Your entry was here and you would have been able to catch all these pips going down. And this was even, how many pips was this? And this was 120 odd pips in this trade. Now that's a lot of pips that I'm giving out here. Look at the source I'm giving you here. This is source. That's a lot of pips that you would have been able to catch there. But once again, it's because of how I use my setup and how I mark up my charts as well. I also mark up my charts so I have safe entry levels, safe exit levels, as you can see at the beginning of the video. Those are all the trades I was able to catch. If you'd like to know how to do these markups and how I do them, you can join my gold mentorship. My Discord group link is in the description and you just have to direct message me. All the pricing, etc. is there. But yeah, this is what I'm doing. I'm practically just doing this. I'm giving you at least 70 to 80% of what I'm actually doing here and being able to capture trades. You just got to do it more often to test out the strategy yourself, and you see how you'll be able to win. You can see here again that this pair here moves 172 pips. Asian range was 44 pips, so I'm only expecting some type of breakout. And now this was 130 pip pretty much sell from here. You can see if you was to catch it all the way from up here. If you caught it all the way from up here, this was almost 145 pip trade. You had a TDI crossover here though, to be fair, yeah, right here. And you would have been able to catch this trade from this level here. Good risk management. Put your stop loss above this baseline. That's what I would have done. Put my stop loss above here. So I always tell people between 25 and 30 pips is a good average for you to be able to take these trades like this. Like I said, it can overextend itself during the day. This is all you needed, and you'd have been able to catch that pair as well. Euro JPY, same thing here. This pair does 92 pips, only did 24 in Asian range, so I'm expecting a breakout soon. Once again, just as I'm teaching you, this is why I say this in the video. If you want to learn a 15-minute scalp and entry trade strategy, this is a golden gem I'm giving you here in terms of how you can make it simple for you. H4 TMA on Pip Hunter, then you have the M15 trend. Look, if you was being able to take this trade. I give out markups in my group every single day. Now, once again, if you wanted to say, okay, out of all the pairs John's given me for the markups, look at this pair here with Pip Hunter on, you'd have seen that this is a pair I am willing to take because of what my indicators are telling me to take. After John has already done market structure breakdown, price action, my indicators are telling me this is a pair I would like to take a trade on. So what you do now, you would have entered your trade looking for a crossover. You had a Tdi crossover here just before London opened. So you would have literally got in on this candle here. Your stop loss could have been easily 20 to 25 pips this way. Yeah, let's look at that. And you would have been able to catch this pip. There's a 40 pip trade. The TMA, 4-hour trend, that's what the TMA is. You can see the TMA is green here. The baseline is green here. Excellent, perfect trade for you. Okay, so that about wraps it up. As you can see, I've given just a brief explanation of how the ADR works. That's the average daily range. So it tells you how much more push is in a pair for you to be realistic to say, am I looking to trade this pair or not? Because if it's at an ADR max of the amount of pips it could do possibly in a day, then what you're gonna do is you're gonna say, hold on, I don't wanna trade that pair today. And again, even if you can't find anything, you don't have to take a trade on that day. It is not by force. Just because money is getting made every single day in the trading market, for you, it might not be practical. If it's for your mental strategy of how you trade, don't take the trade. If it's not clear, it's not apparent, you don't have certain things as confluences, don't take the trade. Like I would say, if my Pip Hunter's not lining up, I would try my level best not to take the trade. And don't get me wrong, I do sometimes, but if the trade goes against me, who else's fault is it? It's my fault because I didn't listen to all my confluences. So yeah, what we're also doing now in the group as well is we are doing a signal group. Our signal group, Starfish Prime, I'll put the link in the description below. And so all the other relevant links, like I said, will be in the description below. If you want to join up that, which we're getting good and amazing results at the moment, still brand new, but we are hitting up results, and I'm throwing out some of these trades as well myself in this group. Hit the link below, sign up, and this is signals. I know a lot of people have been banging on about, oh, you're going to do signals, you're going to do signals, John. There it is. Click the link, you get the signals, it joins you to a Telegram group once you obviously make the payment, and it's a monthly payment as well, and you'll be able to get these trades every day. Most times we take at least 1 to 3 trades a day. There could be scalp trades, there could be swing trades. We try to give the best amount of time before the trade actually happens, so you can of course punch in the digits for a pending order, and we try and get you these pips. We're trying our best, and it's only going to get better. So you'd like to get in now, as the price is what it is now. It's 50 USD, which is US dollars, and in future it definitely will go up as we grow and grow. So yeah, let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. If there's any questions, anything you need to know, join my Discord group and hit me up. Of course, don't hit me up with an essay, because let's be realistic now, I can't answer 3,000 essays every day. I still have a life as well. But I'm gonna love you and leave you. Peace.